Clock 6:02. We'll call the regular City Council meeting adjourned for July 27th.
Mayor Murphy.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Murphy.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Turco.
Here.
Councilmember Doby.
Here.
Councilmember Gross. Absent. Councilmember Hasselbrink.
Here.
Tanya, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Absolutely. Dean had the flag.
Indeed.
All right. Right hand over your heart. Say with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, are you out there?
I'm here.
Would you give us the invocation, please?
Oh, sure. On behalf of the City Council, we would like to just send our thoughts and prayers out to everyone who's affected by COVID-19, whether that's economically, physically, emotionally, and we want to give thanks to everyone in our community who's helping with that situation, our first responders, and everyone in the community that gives back. So thank you.
Thank you. Oral communication. Wendy, I noticed there's no oral communication.
That is correct. We put it on the agenda. Anyone can email in comments or sign into the meeting. We don't have any public participants. We didn't receive any written comments or requests to speak.
Okay. Number 6 is council announcements. I just got to ask, does anybody have anything they want to talk about? We just did this last week. No. Hearing none, no. Move on to items for the city manager.
I don't have any other, sir.
Great response.
My favorite.
We'll go to the consent calendar. All consent calendar items may be acted upon by one motion unless a council member requests separate action on a specific item.
I would like to pull item 8C, please.
8C.
I'll move the balance.
I will second. Roll call, please.
Thank you, guys.
Mayor Murphy.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Turco.
Aye.
Councilmember Doby.
Yes.
Councilmember Gross. Absent. Councilmember Hasselbrink.
Aye.
Okay, 8C. Tanya, would you have a question or you want a staff report?
No, I have a question.
Okay.
The report was very thorough. I'm just wondering if there will be a stipulation of some sort or how the handling will be for intermittent hauls up and down the alleys, specifically in apartment row. Anybody that looks on Nextdoor, I don't advise getting the notifications, but if you are on Nextdoor, you see that there is a lot of chatter around specifically the alleyways in apartment row. And I'm just wondering if either more information could be given out for hauling or if they would be handling some sort of way. I know that we had talked about maybe getting a service vehicle to help do intermittent pickups, or does this address that, or is that something else that would be addressed, or?
So I'm gonna let Ron respond to that simply because he's become largely the trash czar when it comes to picking things up and putting things down again. But I will say this just for the sake of the RFP process itself. The RFP process is what the council wants it to be. So questions, stipulations, things that we want to put in there and have our particular vendors respond to, or any of our bidders respond to, that is completely within your right to do so. This will be a process. We don't plan on just pushing this through overnight. It'll be something that we talk about with you and the community. In the meantime, before we get to that process, Ron has taken a number of steps to address some of these issues immediately. So Rana, if you wouldn't mind jumping in.
Sure, thank you. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. You know, kind of stole my thunder a little bit, because that's exactly what's going to happen is during the RFP process, you get to decide, what you want to put in there. And like he stated, there'll be some council meetings and there'll be some community meetings to address concerns. But in the meantime, we do have a plan formulating to address the issues in the alleyways that we have. So right now, we are in the process of designing and ordering some signage that will go in the alleyways in the Old Town West and Apartment Row neighborhood. And then I've reached out to our current trash vendor, Republic Services, to begin an outreach service program on the city's end and on their end. So on the city end, we can put, again, educational pieces out there in terms of the dumping, and that to notify residents that they can call Republic Services twice a year for free for them to come to pick up large item trash pickup or multiple item trash pickup.
Real quick, the resident themselves, I thought it was the person that pays the trash. So for apartment homes, that would be the owner. But you're saying that just a straight resident can call for 2 free pickups a year as well?
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the owner. It has to be the resident. So when you call in, you just have to state the address that you're at. Correct. Okay. And so then on the city end, the outreach will include we have a weekly email blast that goes out to approximately, I think it's like 10 or 11,000 emails, social media pushes, website pushes. And then, we might be able to put it in our brochure in the city news section whenever that's printed. And on the Republic Service end, they do I believe it's a quarterly mailer, like a brochure that they send out to all the residents. So they're going to put some educational pieces in there. And they also have a way to put on their billing too, some type of informational pieces at the bottom of their billing as well. So then I'm also currently working with them. So we did this many years ago, but Republic Services along with the city offers like a trash day where, we could be posted up at, for instance, Little Cottonwood Park, and residents can come in to dispose of their trash. And whether we do that biannually or quarterly or whatever like that, I'm currently working with Republic Services to bring that back into and offer that as a service for the residents.
Awesome. Thank you very much. That was more to my ignorance in the position. Like I thought, oh, okay, we're saying yes, and then that's it. I didn't realize that it was an ongoing process. So thank you for elaborating so thoroughly. I am completely done and ready to move forward, however we move forward, so we can go to the other things.
You move the item then, Tanya?
I move it. Move it.
I'll second it. Roll call vote, please.
Wendy, you're muted.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Wendy's muted.
Sorry. Roll call, Mayor Murphy.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Turco.
Aye.
Councilmember Dovey.
Aye.
Councilmember Gross. Absent. Councilmember Hasselbrink.
Aye. Hey,
Well,
can I
item
add
10.
something? Richard, I'm sorry. Can I add something just for a future agenda for Chet and Ron?
Sure.
Can we start talking more about, I know we've been talking about an app, a city app for a long, long time, and there's different options. This plays right into that, where if you see 2 mattresses in your alley, you can report it. Same thing, you report cracked sidewalk or anything. So I'd like to just put it on your 550 things to do. But this is just a perfect answer for something like that as a way of getting the word out there as well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Good call, Shelley.
Okay.
All right, I'm in purgatory here. There you are. Okay. On to item 10. Discussion item 10A, consideration of possible approval of ballot argument regarding 1 1/2 cent sales tax transactions and use measures. Scott, you want to kick this off?
Sure, sir. There actually is very little role for the staff to play in this. That being said, on the at your June 20th meeting, the council approved Mayor Pro Tem Turco and Councilmember Hasselbrink to author a argument in favor of the proposed ballot measure, which was also approved on that date, and has now brought that back for consideration of the council.
Thank you. Let me start off and let me thank the standing committee again. It's In talking to Shelley today, I realized I'm the only one who's, other than the two who are doing it, who's ever done it and still on the council. So it's a lot of work, and I really appreciate what you're doing. Hopefully this wraps up all your work. Tanya, you have any comments you'd like to make about the proposal here, and then we'll let the standing committee go last?
You're muted.
I caught myself. I got too much technology on my desk. I got to that one last. No, just to echo that I am very appreciative of all of the work that Shelley and Trickle put into this. Thank you very much. And I am excited to move forward in progression for our city.
I do have a few questions. Some of them are almost like wordsmithing type things. I'll jump around just a little bit, but on the second bullet point, maintaining parks and facilities, including courts, fields, and playgrounds. I think we're missing a bet here by not talking about senior and youth programs. I think the sentence would be better reading something as maintain parks and facilities and provide senior and youth programs. When we talk about parks and facilities, I don't think we need to explain to people that includes courts, fields, and playgrounds. You guys can jump in and tell me I'm way off if you like.
So Richard, if we changed it to like maintaining parks and facilities, including senior and youth programs?
Yeah.
Would it facilitate senior and youth programs or something like that?
Yeah, I thought like maintain park and facilities and then another word before senior and youth programs.
How about just sorry, I'm echoing here. Maintaining parks, facilities, and senior and youth programs.
I couldn't hear you clearly.
Sorry, can you all hear me? Am I coming in clear? Okay. Just a suggestion. What if we put maintaining parks, facilities, and senior and youth programs?
Yeah, I like that. Because then we're not saying, we don't have to describe what a park or facility is. It's who's going to benefit from it.
Yeah, that was my feeling when I looked at this. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then down in the big paragraph, it's about two from the bottom, we have on the second to last line on the right, we say yes on XX again, but we don't start a new paragraph there. Do we want to start a new paragraph that says yes on XX protects our quality of life and keeps Los Alamitos the special community it is for business, residents, and families? I don't want to change the wording. I just want to change the format.
Yes, every paragraph starts with a yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. And then at the very bottom, I was trying to make this more personal, it hit me. And I felt that these words might help. Inserting the word your and fellow, so it now would read, join your city council members and fellow residents, or even citizens, which I thought might work better, vote yes on XX. I just thought it made it more personal.
Well, I think we have about 6 words to play with, correct, Wendy?
4, but I think we're okay with that.
I'm just adding 2 words.
Yep.
I want to add yours before city council, and then fellow, and then either residents or citizens, either one. Whatever the group feels is better.
I like residents.
I like residents.
It seems
like residents.
Yeah.
Citizen has some negative stuff right now. I'd rather use resident.
I obviously like citizens, but
how about neighbors?
I'll take what I can get with getting fellow in there. Okay, Shelley or Mark, you guys have any final comments?
No, just a couple. Actually, I have a question for city staff, and my question is on the 30% figure that I put in there. I'm wondering, Chet, whether that's, we want to make sure that's accurate, or if the number's even higher, because I know the presentation said there was initial 27% reduction in city staff, and then recently a 19% reduction. So I'm wondering, rather than spend time trying to calculate it, I thought I'd put the burden on you instead.
Well, I appreciate that. Michael, just because I can see you holding your hand like you're ready to strike me.
I'm just asking a factual question.
Asking a factual question. So, and again, I'll say it this way, that those numbers were obviously places and times and were comparative to not the number as a whole. So I think your number that you put in here is correct, that it does work. Craig and David, I think when we looked at the total number, that actually would be accurate. Because again, we did from 2009 to 2018, or 2019 rather, and then from 2019 to 2020. So obviously the numbers were a little different in terms of what the overall calculation.
So what was the number in 2009, if we
from 2009 to 2019, we had a 25 FTE reduction. Craig, is that correct?
That's correct.
How many did we start? How many did we start with? Sorry, Chet.
Craig, I'm going to have to ask you that number if you don't know.
I believe the base starting point was 71.
So I'm sorry, I'm trying to do some quick math here.
40. So then we took it down to 46.
Right.
And then more recently down from 46 to where are we now?
So, Mayor Pro Tem, there's one thing that I would just caution with regards to this is those numbers also include not just full-time employees, they include what is called full-time equivalents. And so essentially that's the number of man hours that a part-timer might potentially work. So when you try to do the straight math all the way through, it doesn't necessarily, you're not going to end up exactly with what the staff count is today.
Okay. I think, and I appreciate that. The word we use in in this description is workforce. So I think it's fair to figure this out. However, I understand it's not necessarily apples to apples. So if we're comfortable that it's at least 30%, then maybe we just live with 30%.
And I am comfortable with that number.
Okay.
I am as well.
Okay. Let me see if I missed other questions.
One question before you move on, and I'll take myself off mute because I've asked like 10 questions. What happened if we said reducing the workforce by over 30%?
I think from a factual standpoint, I believe that to be factual as well.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, if we even I started with 75 employees down to 20, reducing them by 26. I got 34.66% reduction. So over 30% is a safe number.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as we have that extra word, which maybe Wendy can confirm.
Off your last count, you had 10 words to play with.
Okay.
Los Alamitos counts as one word.
Oh, perfect. Oh, we should add a few more words then.
Yes.
So if we want to go crazy, my grammar teacher would say you never use over unless you're going over a bridge, you use more than. Do we want to get that picky?
That actually sounds more professional to me anyway.
Mrs. Galino would be so happy that I didn't use over the bridge.
More than sounds fine.
Yeah. We have teachers as residents, don't want to piss them off because we don't know how to construct a sentence.
And Shelly, did you have any Mark, are you done? I'm sorry.
I'm done. Thank you.
Shelly, any comments?
No, I mean, we just basically went and looked at some of the other past ballot measures that have passed, just to try to give, what worked. And then Mark, in his legalese writing ability, was able to pull it together, which was awesome. But I'd like to get some input from our experts, Craig and also David, since they've kind of been there, done that. And if they have any, or can we ask them their input? Sorry, I'm learning the rules here.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly okay, the line of questioning we had previously of trying to obtain factual information that you need to help put together or corral your argument. But in terms of just soliciting their input or suggestion for terms that are more impactful or something along those lines, that's probably going a bit too far.
So can I rephrase my question? I've been watching Law and Order. So can I rephrase my question? David, do you see any factual information that we're missing?
Nothing that I'm aware of, no.
Wasn't the answer I wanted to hear, but okay, thank you. And Craig, anything factually that we would be missing?
Same answer. I don't see anything that I would see that's missing.
Oh, Shelley, before I forget, if I can interrupt real quickly. Maybe the chief can confirm, because we did put in here that we have one of the lowest 911 response times in our vicinity. So that's a factual thing. I think we can check with the chief. Sorry, Shelley, I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget that.
Yeah, we're below the 3-minute mark, and so that's always around here. We're one of the lowest in Orange County, definitely one of the lowest in California. But in Orange County, it's because they're all about, they 5 minutes. Some of them are 5 minutes, some 7. At one time, Anaheim was like even at 9, and I think they're down to 7. So you start looking, they all kind of cluster around the 2.5 to 4 minute mark, And
so, just for my colleagues on the council, I mean, do we want to point this out that we have one of the lowest 911 response times in California or in Orange County? I mean, I think that's an impressive fact.
Is it something we need to put on this ballot support, or is it something that we need to put in our elevator speech as we move forward and educate people?
I think that's something better said person to person.
Yeah.
Personally, is my thought.
Sounds good. I mean, the only thing with vicinity, and part of the reason I did it is because I thought we were short on words. Vicinity doesn't give much detailed information as opposed to the county or something like that. But those are just my thoughts. I'm willing to go whichever way the council decides.
So what would you want to change it to? This is the one of the few small cities in Orange County with its own.
Yeah. One of the lowest 911 response times in its vicinity is pretty vague. I'm just wondering if we put in Orange County. I mean, the city I borrowed this language from did say Orange County, but I was cutting words everywhere I could. So now that Wendy's telling me we got extra words, maybe we put Orange County or California or.
Yeah, I was thinking, Eric, if it's a factual that we have one of the lowest 911 response times in the state, that's way more powerful than just the county.
Yeah, I think you would have. I mean, I'm telling you that, but I think if you want to be factual, you'd have to count up all 332 municipalities and 58 counties, and try to figure out where we're at on a number basis. When I tell people that, no matter where I go, they always tell me, every chief is like, wow, how do you guys get there that quick? And it must be this really small town. And I know smaller towns have better response times, but not always, Right. I think if you want to be factual, you have to move away from probably that and we know that we've looked at it in Orange County, and we know that it's definitely one of the better response times in Orange County. And I just looked down and saw this, that our time went up. And I imagine it's because we were so low on personnel, and we were at 304, it looks like. And typically we're at 2 to 230. to 250 mark, right around there in response times, and it went up a few ticks because we're short personnel. So I don't, but it's still low. I mean, it's still a 3-minute response time, which is pretty fast for priority one call.
Okay, I'm comfortable switching it to lowest 911 response times in Orange County.
Yeah, I like that. I think people identify with us in Orange County, and it's always nice bragging right. I don't think people care that we're lower than Long Beach. I think they care that we're lower in Orange County.
Yeah.
And I don't think they care we're lower and we're smaller, because realistically, that's one of our selling points is we've got a small town feel. So if you want a big city, gone over to Long Beach. But we do good in our small little city.
Yep.
And we're saying one of the lowest in Orange County. So factually, we're not really giving a fact. What is one of the lowest? Is it in the top 25%, 20%? There's plenty of room there to be accurate.
You're just not last.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not saying we're the fastest or something, where that is fact. You could fact check that and argue it, but this really isn't arguable.
Right.
And just actually, as we're going through it, does the word fastest, is that better than lowest?
What would you read, please?
Yeah, so it would say guaranteeing proactive police patrols and one of the fastest 911 response times in Orange County.
I think fastest is a better word.
I like fastest because you don't say, wow, you were really low. It's like, no, you're really fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, fastest.
You comfortable with that, Chief?
Yeah, fastest. I mean, it could look like reckless, because it's fastest, but.
We're not going to be like those domino delivery guys, We're going to be responsible.
We used to always say one of the quickest response times, and I guess it means the same thing, but it just seemed like we weren't.
Quickest was going to be my next suggestion, but you should really mute me because I'll keep modifying it.
Yeah.
Well, it was the quick brown fox, so it wasn't the fast brown fox.
Fast just sounds like we're actually trying to go fast, versus quickest means we just responded quicker. Or it just seems different to me. I don't know.
Not because of what the chief said, but the council, what you guys think? I think the quickest is good.
All right.
Yeah, quickest 911 response times in Orange County.
Because of the quick brown fox.
There you go.
Okay. I don't know who I'm asking this of the staff, but without Dean here, how's the voting work? And does Dean get a chance to vote down the road, or is there a way that he could agree to be put on this, or get a choice to be put on this, or if he's not here, he's just not on it?
Yeah, I think so the purpose of tonight's meeting, having now settled upon the language of the argument, would be to determine which members of the council member will be signatories on this argument. But we have the odd situation now where Dean is not present. So I think the path forward for us would be for the council members this evening to decide if they want to lend their name as potentially one of the 5 individuals who will join in signing the argument, and then perhaps designate one among you who could then perhaps communicate to Dean that the language has been determined, it will not be changed, but that he has an opportunity until the August 3rd submittal deadline to lend his name if he chooses.
I like that, and I think that the mayor should be the one to communicate it.
You get paid the big bucks. I like that idea.
And if you'll humor me for one moment, I just want to make sure that our clerk is comfortable with that approach before I lead you down that path entirely.
That works.
Okay. And I guess the only thing, if I haven't emphasized it enough, the only thing I would add is that it's important from this point forward understand that this is the argument that has been approved. And so if Dean would like to join, he's joining as drafted, and we can't have any further outside dialogue about the content or direction of that message. It's simply this is what we decided upon. Would you like to lend your name in support?
Okay.
Question, we have measure XX in there just because we didn't have a measure designation. How do we decide on that? Is that something that automatically gets selected, or maybe Wendy could answer that?
That is, the registrar of voters will actually provide the letter to us, and when the argument goes forward, they'll replace the XX with our proper letter. And our letter designation is done by the ROV, and it's based off of wherever the argument ended from the primary election. So we'll pick up from there. So say, for example, they left on measure P, then this election will start with letter Q, and then it goes in alphabetically by jurisdictions that have a measure on the ballot.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, just for a point of order, Mayor, your microphone is providing a lot of feedback. So when you're not speaking, I have been muting you. When you are ready to speak, just make sure you unmute yourself. You're muted right now. Sorry. You want to talk?
Okay. So I will make a motion to approve the draft ballot agreement as amended and ask for a second.
I will second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Mayor Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Chirko?
Aye.
Councilmember Dobie?
Before I say aye, Michael was trying to hurry up and unmute himself. Did you need to say something before we do all this?
Yeah, I apologize. I was going to ask if you would like to add to your motion the direction that Mayor Murphy reach out to Councilmember Gross, since he was absent for the vote, to inform him of the ability to join. That can be taken by a separate discussion and action following this.
And I'll add that to my motion.
Thank you.
Tanya,
I will still second it.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay. I'll just start from the beginning. The motion was to approve the ballot argument as amended and to direct Mayor Murphy to reach out to Councilmember Gross to advise him that he may sign the ballot argument. And roll call, we have Mayor Murphy.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Chirko.
Aye.
Councilmember Dobie.
Aye.
Councilmember Gross. Absent. Councilmember Hasselbrink.
Aye.
Oh, thank you all very much. When will we get a draft of this thing? A corrected draft?
As soon as Mark types it up tonight.
Oh, am I doing this? I'm happy to. I hope I got everything. I'll send it to you first, and then we'll send it to Wendy.
Just don't charge by the word on your amendments.
I don't. I don't get to.
Council, if I may, just to clarify, it will be Mayor Chirko and Councilmember Hasselbrink that make any modifications and revisions. I can have a document procedurally for all council time, but it will be either Mayor Pro Tem Chirko or Councilmember Hasselbrink that needs to sign last to actually submit the documents to my.
Thank you. Any other business?
Just one question. Do we use a title for this?
I'm sorry. The question again?
Excuse me. Sorry. Do we need to choose a title for this?
The election code has specific regulations to what your title can be, and that it basically is just an argument in favor of Measure XX.
Okay.
And I'm going to unmute you.
Makes that easy enough. Okay. Seeing no further business, we will adjourn until sometime in August. Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.